Hi there. Welcome back to the Bountiful Bridge podcast. I'm Bridgette Carey, and today's episode is going to be a little more personal, raw, and a little more real. So to get started, this past weekend I went for a walk, and it was just me, the sunshine, and one of my favorite go-to podcasts, which is the Mel Robbins Podcast. The episode I listened to was all about feeling behind in life. Maybe you've felt this way. I know I have. So I went home and I sat down and I wrote some things, and it's something I'm going to share with you in a minute. But there was something that Mel said that stopped me in my tracks about how so many of us are living our lives on a preset timeline, and it's one that we didn't create. A timeline of shoulds and expectations that don't always line up with what's in our hearts. And I realized, wow, that's me. That's so many of us. I started thinking about all of the various stages that I have been through in my life where I felt behind or not where I should be. From when I graduated from college, 26, when I got married, 27, when I had kids, 32. I was much older according to preset or made up standards. But the pressure was real and it was excruciating at times. So why did it take me so long to graduate from college? My dad got sick. Why did it take me so long to have kids? Infertility. Those details aren't accounted for in this preset timeline that was basically created in the 1930s. You really should go listen to this podcast because it's fascinating. In any case, all of these various stages, including where I am right now, I felt like I wasn't okay. So I went home and I sat down and I wrote, and what poured out of me is what I'm going to share with you today. It's called, I'm Not Okay. But before we dive in, I want to mention a few women's voices who are helping me shape mine. A top 3 ranking of female podcasts, if you will. So besides Mel Robbins, I often turn to 2 other podcast hosts, Kylie Kelce and Michelle Obama. So Kylie, she hosts I'm Not Gonna Lie, and I'm not gonna lie and say if you haven't checked it out, you should. She has the best guests, and she does a fantastic job of interviewing, which is really just chatting with her guests. And I just love that she is so real about life. Michelle just launched IMO, or it's called In My Opinion, with her brother Craig. And they are so good together on this podcast. And their latest episode got right to the heart of what I'm going to share with you in a few moments. But really, all in all, these women are influential not just because of their platforms, but because they're honest, vulnerable, and they're really committed to empowering other women while still trying to figure out their own paths. They're the real deal. They show up as themselves. They lead with vulnerability. They talk about the messy middle, about motherhood and purpose, change, ambition. And they don't try to pretend that they have it all figured out. And I think that's what makes their words land so deeply. And that's what I hope to do with this podcast, is to create space for honest conversations, hard truths, and personal growth. I do not have it all figured out, and I'm growing right along with you. Now let's get to it. This is I'm Not Okay. I'm not okay. Mel Robbins tells me that I should be okay. She tells me that it's just a preset timeline based on somebody else's expectations. But I'm not okay. I live my life for the people that I love so dearly. I do for them more than I do for myself. And yet, when I say I've had enough, I'm told that I'm selfish. I'm not okay. I'm finding my way. I'm learning life's lessons that are put before me. I am thankful. I am blessed. I am loved. And yet, I'm not okay. I am judged. I am hard to understand. I am growing. I am learning. I am not okay. There is this expectation that I should be in a certain place, and I am far from it. I used to think that I was on this endless trajectory, only to realize I may be falling. I am not okay. I see the oligarchy and the tyranny and the judgment and the rules that are being held against me and so many others just for simply living. I am not okay. I see people helplessly being handed unbelievable hardships in their lives, being upended with no control and no sense of being. And yet, I'm supposed to be okay. I am not okay. I care for someone whose ability to care for themselves decreases with every passing day. I have to make decisions that I never thought I would have to make. I sacrifice more than that person will ever know. I sacrifice more than the world will ever know. I'm not okay. Every once in a while, I see the horizon. I see what is before me. I see what I have been allowed to bring into this world. I understand my gifts. I understand my heart. I understand that God is bigger than anything I will ever understand completely. I look to the sky and see it painted with the brilliance that no artist could ever recreate. I take a breath. I close my eyes. I exhale. I begin to see that I will be okay. I had to take a breath after reading that. That piece was unfiltered and a little raw, and honestly, it was necessary. Writing I Am Not Okay helped me move through emotions that I was afraid to admit out loud. And sometimes we need to say the words. We need to stop pretending that everything's fine just because the world expects us to. And maybe, just maybe, saying it out loud gives someone else permission to stop pretending to. We live in a culture that celebrates the hustle, the highlight reel, and the curated version of reality. But the truth is, life is hard. Navigating career changes, caring for family, trying to be everything to everyone. It's a lot. And some days we're just not okay. And that's where the work begins, in the honesty, in the pause, in the grace that we give ourselves. If you're going through a tough time, maybe you're questioning your career, you're feeling burnt out, or processing a big life shift, I invite you to go back and listen to my previous episode, The 5 Stages of Getting Let Go. It's one of the most listened to episodes, and for good reason. We've all been there, or we know someone who has. It's real and based on actual life experience. And it might be just what you need to hear right now. If you're craving more lighthearted love stories with a little more dramatic suspense sprinkled in, I'd be honored if you checked out my book, The Glass House. It's about Emma, named after my grandmother, and her journey to find love and herself. At its core, it's about Emma finding herself through love, loss, and life. It's suspenseful, heartfelt, and layered with moments that remind us how beautiful and brutal life can be. I hope you check it out. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, and through my website, bountifulbridge.com. So before we go, I wanted to share with you this episode's mantra, which I want to start calling, "What do you think?" Because we have the power to change our thoughts. Simply as just saying, "What do you think?" So this week's "What do you think" mantra is, "I am okay." Simple but true. You are okay. No matter where you are in your life, you are okay. And what's cool about that is that this is your own individual journey. Even though you share it with others, this is your life. So own it. And if you're not okay today, that doesn't mean that you won't be okay tomorrow. The journey isn't linear. Some days we climb, some days we crawl, some days we just simply rest. That walk I took, the one that sparked this episode, it reminded me that sometimes healing begins in the smallest moments. A walk, a sentence, a breath, a conversation like this one. Thanks for being here today and for letting me be honest. I don't take your time or your trust lightly. Sometimes we're not okay, and that doesn't make us weak. It makes us human. So thank you for crossing this bridge of honesty with me. I hope it makes you feel a little less alone and a little more understood. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Drop me a message. Share the episode with someone who you feel like might need it. And remember, being behind, overwhelmed, or in progress isn't something to be ashamed of. It's part of the journey. You're okay. Until next time, take care of yourself. I'm Bridgette Carey, and I hope to see you on another episode of Bountiful Bridge.